Good, I'm going live. It's not that early for me. I'm up a little bit early. My daughter's gone off to work. My wife came home from dropping her off and wants to rest. And it's been a busy week. I've had a lot to think about. I don't know how this is going to work, but when I do this on the computer, the camera's not working. I'm sure people don't really want to see me or anything, but here I am. All right, so I don't know what's going on with this thing. Anyway, I guess I'm live, so I'm not sure if anybody will show up for this. When I do these lives, sometimes random people come in, sometimes regular fans come in, if that's what you call it, or just people that want to see a dumpster fire. Oh, hey, Trees, good morning. Good morning, good to see you, Trees. Trees has been doing a lot of great, what are they called, community posts? I think that's what they're called. Trees has been finding little poignant little cards and pictures and statements that usually resonate pretty hard with me. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been busy. My family's been busy. This is back to school time around here. And those of you that know, Mrs. Trucker is a teacher, so the school year is a big thing for her. And my kids are both school-age kids, high school kids, so they're back to school. Including my son starting a brand new school for him. Same school my daughter goes to. Oh, hey, Top's here. Hey, I got 2 number 1 fans here with the little purple crown. I haven't seen the purple crown before in my chat, but the last time I tried to do a live, I was trying to do one when I was working on the boat. That didn't go so well, so anyway, I found this thing here. It's from, my wife bought it for COVID when she was teaching from home. It holds like your phone. I'm trying it out. I've never tried it before, even though it's been here the whole time. So here we go. Hey, NA's here. Hey, I got like regular folks coming in. I'm not doing a regular thing here, but I've been working a fair bit. A short week because of the holiday on Monday. Oh no, is Dave? I knew Dave was having like a health issue of some sort. I did not realize Dave was having that done. Wow, that's wild. Thanks for letting me know, Trees. So yeah, so Dave's recovered. Dave from Captive Desk is recovering from surgery. And hello, Mohammed. Hello, Xerox. Good to see you. Emergency, sir. Okay, so this isn't like the other thing that was going on, or maybe it was just maybe I misunderstood what was going on because I heard something happening. But yeah, I was over. I think I was talking to Dave not that long ago. On I don't remember what it was. Anyway, there's been a lot of activity in the community recently, and I've been really lucky to avail myself of taking advantage of that fact that that a lot of our great community members have been out doing some new stuff and just bringing back some of the old stuff. And I want to give a great big shout out to 2 community members, 2 ladies in our community that have been big influences on me in this community, and they're Maya and Ember, and they both have been together with a number of other wonderful ladies doing some sort of morning programming. I think they were doing some when the Daily Atheist morning show, the Damn program was off the air. I think maybe Chris was away on holiday or something. I don't remember. I can't remember what was going on, but they sort of filled that gap, and it kind of filled in my my listening with some current thoughts from community members, and I really appreciate that. And in the meantime, there's been a bunch of stuff going on in my life that I can't remember if I came to talk about it or not, but this certainly isn't nearly as crazy as what Dave's going through, having a tumor removed. But unless they do scan me and find a tumor, which I don't expect. That's not what I think is happening. But I have developed some really debilitating pain in addition to the chronic pain I've suffered from for a long time. And so my health has been top of mind. I've had to go to a bunch of appointments. I've had to fit them into my life, and it harkens back to when last year I was off for nearly 4 months. I was nearly that long off from work, and if you include the time I was off for my kidney, I things were not good for me last year. I lost a lot of time. I lost a lot of work. It was definitely financially strapping, to say the least, to lose out on my regular income for that long. And but don't worry, this is not like a funding drive. I'm talking about how rough it is, and a number of community members are having a rough time and need some financial support. And while I could use financial support, I'm not here to ask for any. I do want to encourage anyone that has the funds to find some of the community members that need some support. And I don't have links to anything. I'm not prepared for anything. I just kind of woke up and was sitting in my chair, watching, sort of nonsense on the internet, and some of it's not nonsense. It had me really sort of in a pensive mood about things. And I was thinking it's one of the things that inspired me was listening to Maya and Ember and some other great community members. Ryan has been on with them. AJ, AJ's from what is the name of her channel? Ways to Human, and Ryan Cultastic, and Kelly's a new face for me, who also has some amazing stuff to say. I got to get to know them. Maybe others just know them from somewhere else, and I've just somehow missed them. But Kelly's been on speaking to people, and I think it was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. The days run together for me. They had a show talking about feminism, and there was another time they had this show. I think one of the shows is called Java and Jugs, and it's got kind of, maybe it was like a temporary thing as a filler, but also like a regular gathering of some strong and intelligent female voices in our community, which I think is awesome. There's Ryan Cultastic right now. Welcome. Well, I'm up, so I'm doing like a thing. I'm just doing a live. I'm just gonna talk about shit here. So one of the things that's come up for me in the last couple of weeks is, and I'm gonna talk about this. I had a private conversation with another community member who I'm not gonna name because it was a private conversation, but they brought something to my attention. That was also being brought to my attention in the obesity advocacy community. And this person brought it to my attention, I think, because they're aware of my work as a volunteer, as a patient advocate. And as a patient advocate, I don't usually spend a lot of time talking about the gender divide. And I actually think gender divides, generally speaking, are not good for us, other than to point out where disparity exists and fix it. I think pitting us against each other isn't helpful. I think we should consider ourselves human beings. We should support ourselves as human beings, and not say, hey, you got this because you're this, and you got that because you're that. This is not generally helpful, but it is helpful to say, hey, the deck's stacked in this regard or that regard. And I became aware of a show many years ago that I watched, and Mrs. Trucker and I watched it together, and Mrs. Trucker and I both live in larger bodies. So looking back at this, there was a show called The Biggest Loser that was on, and now there's a documentary, which I haven't watched any of yet. I'm probably going to. I've sort of been working up myself for this. And this show does have a lot of issues if you look at them. And other content creators that work in different sectors of YouTube content creation have done some pretty interesting takes on it. There's one lady named Mickey oh, I can't remember her name, but she's a great content creator. She's a therapist. She also lives in a larger body and has some great things to say about it. And I enjoyed listening to her program. I listened to it a couple of times. I have some, personal friends, like people I know, IRL or in real life, as they say, that I've met and talked to in the flesh, but also talked to regularly on social media. Canada being a large country, some of us are pretty far away from each other. Even for a trucker like myself, it's a 3-day drive to some of my friends, or 4 even. So that's, we do a lot of collaboration online. And I also, I had to reach out to a couple of leaders, and then I was really inspired because I got a message, just a casual social message from one of the top leaders in the group I work with, showing that they just had a meeting in Toronto this week and did a big collab with a bunch of people in person, which still has a lot of value. And so being in a space like this, being like an online space, it's a little bit hard to see everybody and know everybody, and I mostly people just see my head, right? I don't usually show off my whole body. People that know me, though, know that I live in a very large body and that I've been living with obesity most of my life. And so I think, it behooves me to get on here and talk about what it's like to live in a larger body, and also to be inundated with messages from those folks. And I thought about writing. I do, Ryan. I'm not just a floating head. Yeah, so for those, like, I don't know, I think these lies sort of stay up. So I'll put this out there. So if people think this is valuable, or what I'm adding to the conversation is valuable, that's great. And they can put people on here, and I'll just give a really brief overview of my experiences. That I was born in what it seemed like a regular body for the first part of my childhood, and then became larger and larger, especially as I hit puberty. That's where I started to realize I was going to live in a larger body. I didn't think it was true. I thought I could fight it. People told me I could fight it. My father lived with obesity his entire adult life as well. And yeah, and we're sort of big strapping folks. If you had pictures of my father and myself and in our 20s, say, when we were maybe at our most physically strong and well points, you'd say there's a big strapping lad there, but definitely have a lot of excess adiposity. And for both of us, it affected my father's health a lot. It affects mine. In a lot of ways, it's affected mine sooner. Like when I look at the timeline of my father's trajectory through life, his health issues seem to come on a little bit later than mine have come on. But I also ended up with a larger body. At one point, I was over 400 pounds. I was about 405 pounds. Luckily, my body was able to shed those, but I've lived on and off. I keep coming back to the same point I'm at now. And I've been maintaining my same body mass for a couple of years now, I think, pretty much. Over 18 months anyway. I've been at like about 335. And I count that as a win. I count it as a win when my body isn't yo-yoing all over the place. So yeah, and Tree says the types of shows can exploit the people that are on the show. They do. They absolutely do exploit the people, which is terrible. And so they definitely don't treat people with respect, even if they say they're doing that. And so I think it's really important that we take a look at how we as a society view people and their bodies, and we are judged for our bodies. So one of the things about living with obesity, living in a very large body, is that people feel very comfortable commenting on and joking about your body when you're in a very large body. And people will also do that to people who are like really tall, and they'll do it to people who are really short. And sometimes, like, I'm not a particularly tall or short person. I'm kind of average in height, which isn't so great. I'd really, I do joke that I'm 3 feet short of my goal height. But even if I was like, 9 feet tall, I still would probably be well in the obese category. Hey, Tori, good to see you. And Dr. Tap, what the fuck are you doing up? Oh yeah, you're doing weird shit. And Majestic P. Beck is here. Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Thanks for coming by. Vandy, what are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be at the lab avoiding eye damage or something? Don't tell anybody, but I think Dr. Tap has been like turning on dangerous lasers and letting them fly around the room. Oh, you're reading Dr. Kip's book. Dr. Tap, I don't know if you know this, but Dr. Kip has written no books. And so what you're doing is paradoxically impossible. Um, yeah, so it's thanks for coming in, folks. So I was going to talk about living in a larger body a little bit, just as a quick thing. Yes, stop watching my show and go read Dr. Kip's book that doesn't exist because he's written no books. It is actually true that Dr. Kip, who's also one of my countrymen, has written a non-zero number of books, and a very recent one of his many books has dropped very recently, from what I understand, because I'm pretty sure Dr. Tap was on the phone with me when he ordered the book. Don't tell anybody, but Dr. Tap and I are really good friends, and we chat often. So I was thinking about The Biggest Loser as a show. Rather than talk about the documentaries come out, I was going to talk about like the show and how it made me feel back when I watched it the first time around. And it didn't make me feel good, but I kind of thought it did at the time. I kind of felt like it was inspiration for me. Like if I could work out like those folks, I could somehow just change reality for myself. And not be the big fat lazy bastard that everybody assumes I am. And I did see. I think Ryan actually. The way the chat works here kind of scrolls by super quick, but I think it was Ryan that said that there's sort of this implied bias that if you live in a large body, it means you're lazy, you overeat, you binge eat, and these are things like I'm not saying I've never had a binge eating episode in my life, but I think my style of eating isn't that, and so when I see that played out, and this sort of assumption, and so there were a lot of things in The Biggest Loser that I remember. So they do these challenges where they'd have them do like crazy things, like dig sand with their hands, for instance, to try and move as much sand as they could over a number of hours. So they kept them up all night long, or at least that was the way it was presented. And I know like stuff on TV and reality are probably not exactly the same thing. But yeah, it's one of those things where the presumption that's baked in is kind of baked into our whole way of thinking. And I think this actually it's part of the same problem that we see with a lot of issues we have in society. And I'm gonna see if I'm gonna use a lobster monster truck to stabilize my phone. I've realized this phone thing that I've borrowed from Mrs. Trucker is on like a spring, and I noticed the phone was bouncing. And yeah, Dr. Tap. I don't know if I eat better than Dr. Tap, but I have it on. I can't say how I know this, but I believe that Vandy eats more than one meal a week from a gas station, which my daughter says is a bad idea. That is one of her great things she has told me. This the only meal you should ever eat from a gas station is candy, and everything else is bad for you. Um, Ryan says she's been working out 3 times a week for 3 years, still in the same fucking weight. Well, Ryan, see, one of the things about weight is not body composition. And also, and I'm not diagnosing Ryan with anything, and in fact, mostly I only see Ryan sort of chest up. So I don't actually think I've ever seen Ryan's whole body, and I'm not judging them or saying that they have anything at all going on in their body. But body's comprised of French fries. Yeah, they're a lot. Yeah, well, and Dr. Tap does keep weird hours. and native, he says eating contest 42 slices of pizza. See, like I have enough appetite to eat a lot of food. So like, and there are a lot of things about living in a large body that change your metabolism, including, and probably most importantly, that we are convinced by a multi-billion-dollar industry that there's something wrong with us and that somebody has the key to open it and fix it, which most certainly isn't true from almost every commercial enterprise involved in this. And I don't count modern medicine as a commercial enterprise in the same way that I do a lot of the predatory companies that work on this. So Biggest Loser actually labeled, branded all sorts of shit, and I even had some of that shit. I think I may still have some of it now. I do want to. I don't know how to make a comment come up, but I guess they're just on the screen right now anyway. So if I read it while it's there, it'll work. Look at trees. I would guess that most obese people are not lazy or ignorant. I think there are more factors that aren't being addressed. Well, I disagree. I have a tremendous amount of ignorance, and no matter how long I live, I will not ever be not ignorant. But I can be less ignorant about many topics by looking into them. But yeah, a lot of people assume that people who live in large bodies are just unaware of how metabolism works. We are acutely aware of how metabolism works, and we know that ours is, generally speaking, deranged, but not for all of us. And friends who eat healthy and still struggle. Yeah, well, and I think that's what Dr. Tapp was trying to say, is that he knows what I eat for a regular throughout a regular day, the types of foods I eat, what my caloric intake is composed of, because we've talked about stuff like this, and he's like, you eat a way better quality of food than I do, and yet, Dr. Tapp, I can't remember if he said he fits in one category or not, but BMI is kind of a bullshit way to measure it anyway. But Majestic Beck goes from 160 to 175 pounds, yeah, and you eat once a day, keeps diabetes at bay. Yeah, so yeah, no, and I think there are obese vegans. Yes, there are, and being a vegan will not make you automatically lose weight. A lot of diet changes will contribute to sudden precipitous weight loss, but it won't be long. It won't be long lasting. It won't be long lasting, and it won't make an effect on your health, because typically speaking, you're losing water weight by changing your habits, and a lot of times it's just cleaning up some stuff that causes swelling. You went down 238 to 230 in the last couple of months. Yes, and I think Dr. Tapp has been working really hard at getting out and getting active, and also working weird hours. Steroid vegans, vegan gains. Yeah. Well, I don't have vegan gains. I will show off my slightly muscled arms. This is what being a, just a regular old obese person. I haven't even worked out. Have not worked out in a while, but I worked a number of 14-hour days hauling heavy equipment, and my arms are pretty strong. I'm a pretty strong guy in general. Like I've been a strong guy since puberty. I just kind of became like a strong, not very tall, it's kind of an average height, but very, very girthy sort of guy, Oh, you took a break. Well, yeah, you broke. What? Stop breaking your fucking ribs. But you were Dr. Top was out like walking and jogging and running and stuff like on a semi-regular basis. But he also started going to the lab and working nights because he's, I don't know, he's either going to get this cold atom interferometry stuff like totally blown wide open, or I'm the same height, Majestic Back. I'm about 5'8". Yeah, Dr. Tapp's going to reanimate some sort of dead creature with lasers, or he's going to get cold atom interferometry figured out for us all. So when I think about The Biggest Loser, I think about the weigh-ins. I think about how they would parade people up there, and everybody wore basically the same outfit. I don't actually complain about that too much because I think they typically were wearing just like shorts and a tank top or something like that. I think a lot of the women wore like a sports bra, especially as the show. I think once they started losing more weight, they started putting the women in sports bras. I think just to show off what they'd lost, because the show was about this like big transition, right? It wasn't about this show was not about being good to people. It was not about helping people. It wasn't about encouraging healthy habits. It wasn't about anything but making money. Hello, Demonics. Is it Demonics Media? Welcome, welcome. I got a new phone. New phone came with a screen protector that I was told would be warranted, and after working with me for 2.5 weeks, the screen protector is cracked in multiple places. And if I get time today, I'm going to go to the mall and ask the people that sold it to me to replace it at their expense. So yeah, so this show, now that there's this documentary out, I think I'll probably start watching it. I'll watch it slowly. Why did Ryan say oops? I'm not sure what happened here. Blood sugar's gone 30, almost went in coma. No. Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good, Beck. Yeah, and I was trying to remember, you are Canadian, so of course your numbers are the same as my numbers. I was trying to think, like, the Americans use this weird numbering system for being diabetic, and I put my phones through a gauntlet. Yeah, Dr. Tap, like, you have no clue. Dr. Tap has somewhat of a clue. And I'm sorry that I can't read Arabic script, but welcome to our show. If anybody knows how to read Arabic and can type that out for me in some sort of phonetic Roman alphabet, I'll try to read your name. But welcome. And there's probably a way to have it like translate. I'm really sorry. Is this something I was replying to? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so I was thinking about the show, and the show was about making money. It was about making money. I probably could do that. But I'm just on my phone here, and like, I don't know what'll happen if I leave the screen. I've been borrowing my son's laptop to do these, and now I've sort of switched to doing it on my phone for now. My son's laptop camera just won't work anymore, and I haven't figured out why. And honestly, he uses it to play mostly like different video games, and that's it. Thank you, Demonics. I appreciate that. If you can figure that out, that's great. It's not Arabic. Oh, it's Hogwarts. Is it really? I thought it was an Arabic script. It is really tiny on a phone. Like the font is really small. So I'll get back to talking about this, because if I just read text the chat the whole time, as Mark Reed says, you just can't get anything done. But I do like to say hello to people, and this is not meant to be like it's not meant to be a tutorial on how to watch and rip apart The Biggest Loser as a show, and talk about some of the things that really bothered me about the show over the years that it was on, and still bother me now. And it's something that I'm sure it's their name. I wish I could say welcome to the person rather than welcome person whose name is in what looks like an Arabic script. And I did say I would stop reading this, but I'm gonna sort of say I should have written these down so I'd stay on track, because being undiagnosed ADHD doesn't mean I'm not ADHD, I think, or it might be true. So this Biggest Loser thing, they basically, if you didn't see the show, they would have people lose crazy amounts of body mass, not necessarily fat. Definitely lots of water. The first few weeks, they would lose a tremendous amount of water weight. Not unexpected. We all retain a little bit of water to some degree, depending on your sodium intake and how much exercise you do, what types of foods you eat. Even just changing them up could lose water. People that menstruate will definitely excuse me. People that menstruate will definitely have like body water retention amounts that are different. Their bodies change on a monthly cycle that actually changes, stuff like that. But I also noticed as a male, my hormonal regulation changes over the course of a roughly monthly cycle as well. And I don't know if that's ever affected my body mass, or my body water or anything like that. But I've noticed my body feeling different through the course of like a month. I think my hormones fluctuate over the course of a monthly interval. Other men say the same thing happens, and it might be a normal aspect of being a human. I'm really not sure. Hormones do a lot of things. Hormones, people think about hormones as things that make women emotional, like as sort of a stereotypical bullshit thing, and they think of it as around sort of like reproductive health. But hormones do a lot of other things. People like myself that live with diabetes and and Majestic Beck also lives with diabetes. Those things make you more acutely aware of what your hormonal situation is. But we also hormones regulate just about everything that happens in our bodies. And we talk about hormones as being something that sort of drives puberty and like sexuality and sex drive and all that stuff. And sure, they do. Those things are true. But hormones also affect adiposity, how we store fat, how we process sugars, how our bodies get ready for certain things. And our bodies can be dysregulated in the endocrine system, which is, I think, the fancy medical way of saying, like, your hormone production. And so we have all sorts of different processes in our body that, and I'm not a biological minded person. I like physics. As a patient advocate, I've learned a lot of words that are about medicine and biology. And I enjoy learning about all sorts of things, but I'd rather study physics. But for my health and that of others, I and they're good treatment. I've decided to put my volunteer time into changing the way we do medicine. And changing the way we do medicine, I've learned that a lot of the things that they do in The Biggest Loser are wrong. So crash dieting, super low caloric intake, and like crash exercising, like literally exercising to failure every day of the week that's bullshit. That is not a path to health. Doing it fast isn't better, okay? Ashan Garamani, I think, Iranian hero. Okay. You know what? I don't know who that is, but welcome if you're from Iran, or if you're just Iranian of ancestry. Welcome. I don't know if you're still here, but welcome. Appreciate people coming in from around the world. I know a lot of the people that pay any attention to me are North American and Australian and British, and maybe even a few Irish folks. That's okay. Yeah, so and I don't know if that's the person's name or if that's like a person that they think is an Iranian hero. I know nothing about that. I'm not going to go into a big political diatribe because it'll take me totally off topic. But I will say that we are in Western countries, we are not we're not well informed as a whole on what goes on in Middle Eastern countries in a totally accurate way, I don't think. So, and we're not certainly not. I'm not one of those well-informed people. I think there are people that go out of their way to be well-informed. I'm pretty busy with a lot of stuff, so I'm going to talk about what I am well-informed on. So, there's some amazing new things coming out in obesity research, in obesity medicine, things that I hear about. There's new medications that are coming online right now that will actually be life-saving medications. And a lot of these things help change the way hormones work in the body. And so hormones are important, and they are something that affects us all. Just eating less and moving more is not going to change the bodies of people that are living with what am I saying? We're living in a large body, but living with obesity it's a pretty extreme thing. And I did an interview with CBC, and they asked me if I thought it was too extreme to do things like surgeries, surgical intervention to deal with obesity. And I said, well, that is extreme, but it's an extreme thing to live in this large of a body. And I noticed this in a lot of ways that other people might not notice. And also realized what, so I noticed things like, I don't fit in cars. I don't fit in airplane seats. I don't fit in chairs at the doctor's office. I don't fit in a lot of places. Like one of the things I like about being a trucker is that I fit in a truck. I fit in a truck and it's tight for me sometimes, but I fit in the truck, even though I'm really, really big. Um, and I don't even realize how big I am until sometimes I see myself in a picture. Um, and I tell you, there's something really striking to my own psyche when I see a picture of myself speaking at a conference about obesity, and I'm sitting in a panel of people living with obesity, and I'm still the biggest guy on the stage. That is something that strikes me hard for a couple of reasons. One is that how big I still am, even after losing like close to 80 pounds, I think at this point. Definitely over 70. So that's one thing. But then, what about the people that can't come? I think about them. So some people watch, and I have my thoughts on these shows as well. But there's shows like My 600 Pound Life, or these people that their excess adiposity has led them to be in a situation where they're housebound or hospital bound, and they have to lose weight even just to have a surgery, just to even think about it. And they say stuff like that to me too. And I'm not as big as they are. And one of the things I realize is that when I speak up for myself and for my peers who are living in large bodies, I also have to speak up for the ones of us that can't even get out of the house, the ones that can't even think about coming to a conference because it's physically impossible to get them there. So these are things that I think about and want to do something about. And when I see a show like that, it hits my psyche in a weird way. So I see a show like The Biggest Loser. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about My 600 Pound Life or one of those similar shows. But those shows, just to explain what they are shows where people that live with obesity, even beyond what I've lived with, and it's the same disease, but it can get to a point. There's a tip over point, I think, where people are unable to leave their homes, and their bodies are literally just storing adipose tissue at a crazy rate that just doesn't make sense, and they need medical attention. It's just a thing that needs to happen. That needs to be addressed. They need medical assistance, and so do I. I need medical assistance for a lot of things, but I still work every day. So, I'm big, fat, and lazy, but I work 14-hour days. I work pretty hard, I think. I'm not entirely unintelligent. So I look at a show like The Biggest Loser, and I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, this is inspiring. That's the first thought I had is this is great. These people are losing this weight. They're working really hard at it. It can be done. But then after a short time, after a couple of seasons, I'm like, I really don't like the way these people are treated by their trainers, by society. I don't like the way I'm treated by society. And I don't even want to see a trainer because I don't want this. I don't need tough love, which is what they're pretending to give, right? There's no love there. It's just being shitty. I guess there's some people that need a wake-up call of some sort. People that live with obesity, that live in large bodies, we are not stupid, and we do know what's going on. We do not need to be told. You don't need to just wake us up and say, "Oh, holy fuck, did you realize you were this big?" Yeah, we fucking know. We fucking know. We don't need an intervention. And some people do live with binge eating disorders. Some people have wildly dysregulated metabolism. My metabolism fights me, not to the point that some other people have, but just because I have it slightly easier than other people doesn't mean I'm not living with a disease. Nor does it mean that we should treat people like shit that live with this disease or judge people for it. And the only good thing that I've gotten out of this is realizing that I am much more aware of things that I would not be aware of them because it wouldn't be happening to me. And so a couple of times this week, I've been listening to people talk about things that, everybody will call me woke for this. I don't give a shit. I am woke. Issues that affect women and people of color in a disproportionate way. And living in a large body affects those groups in a disproportionate way as well. It's a little bit easier for me to live in a large body and be a white man, right? Yeah, I agree, Trees. Yeah, whatever offends the Klansman. Yeah, if you're offended by my acceptance of people from around the world, fuck off. I don't need you, and you sure don't want me hanging around. So just get fucked. Or as the Marshmallow Mafia says, get fucked, you duster. That's from Drewby. It's a Canadian show. I don't love it. I don't love some of the things that get said. That's something I'm going to do a show on. And if people are watching this and comment later or comment now, I want to do a show about. I want to do a show about people that both they talk out of both sides of their mouth when they discuss fat shaming. So they'll say, "Hey, we shouldn't be fat shaming these people," and then they make fun of how fat somebody is later or on another episode, and that really bugs me. So I don't know why it bugs me. I've heard people do this. I have friends that do this. I've talked to them about it. So the excuse I get on this is that, well, if we don't remind fat people how terrible it is that they exist, then, they won't do anything about it and get healthy, right? And I forget Mickey's last name, but anyway, Mickey, the therapist, who does a great show, she was making fun of the voice that they have. We just want you to be healthy, or something like that. She did it great. I'm not a voice person. People tell me I have a great voice, and I never hear it. If I listen to myself on YouTube, I'm like, fuck this. If I have a great voice, it's not coming out. We do a lot of things ass backwards in this state. So anyway, but yeah, like, if you want people to be healthy, promote health. If you want people who live in large bodies to be healthy, let them be healthy, and don't feed things that destroy their mental health. So one of the things about living in a larger body is you blame yourself for it. We blame ourselves for a lot of things, like people in society just do. And living in a larger body is something that is hard to do, and you're blamed for it. So like, it's harder for me to like just walk up the stairs. So I try to explain this to people, and I've done it over and over again. I'll do it again. It's just, if you're a normal weight person, just imagine yourself carrying however much weight you'd need to carry up the stairs to carry your body weight and get yourself to 335 pounds, and then climb the stairs with that weight on your body. Or in my case, be a trucker in my body. So grab 50 pounds of chains and tuck them under your arm, or put them over your shoulder and climb a ladder, or climb up on a machine, or climb under a machine. And yeah, in the States things are funny. And this is another thing I really dislike, is like, there's a lot of things to dislike about what goes on in the States, especially right now. There's a lot of people doing a lot of destructive things. So I'll use it as an example because it's an example of what I'm saying. Defending people that live in large bodies by saying, don't treat them that way, it's fat shaming, which is a troublesome topic as well. And I'll try to dig into it a little bit without going on for too long. But if you use the concept of fat shaming as like a bad thing to do, and then also go after like your local politician and say, well, that guy's just a fat fuck, that's not cool. What's wrong with the person who lives in a larger body who makes stupid decisions for public policy isn't that they live in a larger body, it's that they're an idiot or that they're an evil-minded person. They're a person who is so self-interested that they're willing to put other people's lives at stake for their own interests. That is not a body mass issue. That is a mind issue. That is a person who has something in their mind that is based on greed. It's based on corruption. It's based on favors they owe to people. It's something like that. But their body isn't important. And I realize people want to like hit at these people. They want to hit at them in a way that makes them feel bad, because they feel bad when they do things to take basic human rights away from them, and so they want to lash out. And we know that people have body image issues and feel bad about living in a large body. So if that person lives in a large body, we're like, well, I need to do something to make them feel little, so I'm going to point out how big they are. Okay, that's fair. You want to make them feel like shit. I get it. The thing is, when you say that's what makes them shit, you're also saying that's what makes me shit. And I don't agree with the things they're doing. So obviously being a fat fuck doesn't make you a bad person with bad ideas. It's something else. It isn't the large body. Otherwise I would think this way, right? So I'd like people to think about that, is that, we get into this idea of like we should attack ideas, not people, or, that sort of thing. But we do this all the time. It happens with other things. And sometimes it's easier to see, maybe if it's something where it's you that's being inadvertently made fun of in the same thing. So I would say, like, we do this with female politicians. Their looks are constantly harped on, and their sexual behavior is harped on, and men too. Like, male sexual behavior is also brought up as like something we should be super worried about, and we should, if they're abusers and they're doing things that are illegal and immoral and terrible and not good for society. But if adults have normal sexual relationships and they happen to work in politics, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit no matter what gender they are, or lack of gender, if they're gender neutral or non-binary, whatever. I don't give a shit. That shouldn't be an issue. Just like if somebody can't stay married or stick to their marriage vows, that's a problem they have. If they harp on about that in their politics, by all means, like, make fun of that. But if they're in like a relationship where it's open and that's cool, then like let them do what they want to do. If that's not what's going on and they're treating people like shit, by all means, like, dig into them, because it's the hypocrisy we don't like. That's what it really comes down to. We don't like hypocrisy. And we have this idea that the people in politics are different physically from the rest of us, or that they're built different, made different, or whatever, but they're just other humans. And for some reason, politics has become an industry that attracts some of the shittiest people. And I wish we could strike back at them on the stupid shit they do instead of their body image. And only because I'm so affected by odd body image. And so I don't think it's relevant, and I don't think we should let that take over. Just because I don't want that to happen to people in general. And if it bothers me, and I'm a big, strong guy, and I'm also a white guy in a white man's world and all that stuff. Like, I've had everything handed to me on a silver platter, supposedly. It hasn't really worked out that way for me. But what that's pointed out to me, and this is not me whining about being a white guy and how white guys aren't properly represented. Let me be clear about that. The only reason I want to get up and speak is because some people can't speak for themselves. So much in all, as I go to conferences and remind people that there are 800-pound people at home that can't come. and make sure that their voices are heard and that they're reached out to, and that we get their voices as well as we possibly can by whatever means necessary. I also want to make sure that I remind people that there are lots of people that can't or won't speak up for themselves. And so one of the things I bring up when I'm at conferences is the disparity between the number of females and the number of males that show up at an obesity conference. The only reason they can get the numbers even is because they take every man that's willing to show up, and they have a choice of women they can pick from. Because there's like a half dozen men and hundreds of women that are willing to speak up about what's going on. And it's because we live in a society that doesn't treat men very well, or women. Some of the people that are in charge live high on the hog. And they use the fact that a guy like me, I mean, I don't really look like those guys because I'm, I look like a big, giant homeless person. It's obviously not that I'm out of food though, right? But I'm a trucker, so I live out on the road. I work long hours. I'm a little rough looking, or as my wife says, I'm kind of intimidating. But I want to assure you, Mrs. Trucker was not taken by force. She just jokes around about how when I get mad, people get scared. And I'm in a way, I don't want to make people scared. I want to make people aware of things. I want if I have a louder voice and can say, hey, shut up and listen to these people. They have something important to say. And also, I have something to say. And one of the things I need to say is that men have been taught to shut the fuck up about things that bug us and just keep it inside and not be emotional. And we're only allowed to have two emotions, laughing and anger. We're allowed to laugh off stupid shit. And I did this yesterday. Yesterday I did this. I laughed it off. There was another gentleman working with me, and we were stuck with a situation where we had to wait for something to happen. So we were having a little chat, and we both worked in construction and with heavy equipment and stuff. And I'm a trucker, and this guy works with heavy equipment. And I was moving their heavy equipment, and the guy's a little older than me. And it's just, we talked about how our bodies have been like abused by the industry we worked in construction. And we have health issues now in our older age. We have like arthritis and broken this and broken that, and our bodies have been beat up. And and this gentleman's probably a guy that didn't live with obesity his whole life. He's got the typical sort of older guy getting an extra stomach or whatever, right? Jay, I don't want anyone to say, oh no, poor baby, are you okay? I want someone to listen when I say I'm not fucking okay. And we got to do something about it. All right? So, yeah, no, I'm not fucking okay. I'm not fucking okay. I got arthritis. My back is fucking breaking. My body is failing me left, right, and center. My kidney has left me in a terrible position. My lungs last year let me down in a way that I didn't even know they could. But apparently breathing is super important. And looking after my family is super important to me. It is my job. It's my duty in our society to look after my family. And for a number of months last year, I couldn't even look after myself. They had to look after me. That's not a position you're supposed to be in, right? You're not supposed to be weak and helpless when you're a man, right? You're supposed to you got to man up, right? Yeah, that's the right way to do it, right? That's what being a man is, right? That's right, Jay. That's what being a man is. You eat your fucking feelings, you put them down inside you, and you just fucking leave them there, right? Well, Jay, I'm not weak. I'm not weak. I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough to say when I need help. And I'm strong enough to speak up for those that won't or can't. That's what being a leader is. So, even though I'm not really looking for a leadership position, I'm taking a leadership role. And I'm going to lead us into a better place. And I'm assuming you're just here to troll, or you have something important to say. Fucking say it. What is it you think makes someone strong? Tell me what that looks like. Is it never complaining when something's broken? Is it never doing anything to change something that's not going right? Is it letting broken, terrible things sit there unfixed? Is that what a strong person does? Does a strong person push other people down so that they can feel big and strong? Or do they reach their hand out and lift them up? What does a strong person do? Tell me. Tell me how that should be done. Tell me what a big, strong leader looks like. A big, strong leader put their boot on somebody's neck? Or do they take the guy with the boot on their neck and throw them to the fucking ground and pick up the person that they were trying to kill? Dust them off and help them. Who's the strong person? Tell me. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Jay, why did you stop? Why did you stop posting comments? Tell me. I want to hear how to be strong. What have I got wrong here? How did I fuck it up? What do I misunderstand about strength? Am I supposed to be a bully? Is that the right thing to do? Might be MAGA. Oh, fuck. Hey, is there anything more MAGA? I'm wearing my fucking Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast. If you're not first, you're last. 36, single father, work every day. Don't cry about how tired and sore I am. Put my work boots on every day and do what I have to do. Oh, Jay, I'm 49. I've done that shit, and I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of it. We need to make more money. More money for the workers. Less inflation, less bullshit. Better life for everybody. Better life for my kids, better life for your kids. How about that? What do you think? I do what I have to do every day. I'm sorry I came on here to talk about what it's like to live in a larger body and how to get rid of bad ideas that treat people in larger bodies like shit. Yeah, you put your work boots on every day and do what you have to do. Me too. Me too, brother. So yeah, I'm sorry if you're offended. You're 6'4", 300 pounds. Yeah, you're lighter than me. Lighter than me and taller. Probably looks better on you. Anyway, I'm sure you're a big, strong guy. Big, strong guy. No, I'm not talking about how much you bench, bro. I'm not talking about how much you bench. I'm talking about, do you have the strength? Do you have the strength to change the world we live in? That's what I want to know. Do you have the strength to stand up for what fucking counts? Do you think me complaining about how broken my fucking body is after 28 years in construction? Yeah, Jay, I'm not putting you down for that. I'm not putting you down for that. And if I'd been single, I'd be out on the fucking street, and so would my kids. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't work every day as well. What is it, Jay? Just put in words exactly what it is you don't like about what I'm doing here. Like, tell me what I fucked up here. Tell me what I have wrong. Tell me what I have wrong. Is asking for better treatment for people wrong? Like, I need to know. I need to know where I've gone fucking wrong. How have I offended your work ethic? Is it because I only work 70 hours a week? What's the problem? Oh, okay. You just heard me complaining. All right. Well, Jay, I'm not here to complain. I'm here to tell people what I think is wrong. There's a lot of things going on, Jay. I want to understand what it is that you want me to change about the way I am so that I can be the strong that you think is strong. Is it telling people that bullying patients when they're on an operating table about their weight is not a great way to handle a medical emergency? Telling doctors that's not helpful? That doesn't change anything, but that putting research into obesity medicine and surgical interventions and other things like that. Yeah, I know, Jay. I know I can change it. Went from 405 to 335. Can't seem to lose anymore. Can't move anymore. And I work as many hours as I can, and I come home dead tired. So, Jay, if you want to lose weight, go ahead. Go ahead. Just fucking go ahead and lose weight. I'm happy if you do. Well, I guess Trees decided you're not really helping. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna assume Trees is reading the situation correctly. So, all right. So, Jay is, I'm sure Jay's a great person, right? They're a single dad. They're raising their kids. They're doing the best they can. They don't want to hear me complain about what's wrong. So look, Jay, if you don't like what a big fat fuck I am, that's fine. If you think I can just change the way the world works, that's fine too. Oh, is Dave recovering well? That's good. I'm really glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that. If you're just tuning in, Dave's had an emergency surgery to remove a tumor, and we're all wishing Dave well. Dave's a great member of the community. Gets people talking about all sorts of stuff. Oh fuck. Oh, you scrolled up and Jade disappeared? Oh fuck. Well, anyway. Look, if you're working hard to support your family, I'm not here telling you you're wrong. I'm telling you, like, it could still be better. I don't want you to go to the doctor, Jay, or anybody like Jay, and be told you're fucked. Or I don't want Jay to one day have a bad knee and need a replacement and be told, Jay, you need a new knee, but you're gonna have to take 6 months off of work. And by the way, you got to lose 50 pounds, or we won't fucking cut your knee open, because we have a arbitrary weight limit for having a new knee, and if you live in a large body, you're not allowed to have one. And by the way, that means you're never going to work again. And I don't fucking know. I don't know. Is that good? Is that a good situation to be in? That's something we're trying to change. That's something that Obesity Canada is directly trying to change, is the gatekeeping of life-saving and life-altering surgeries for people that live in large bodies that might allow them to exercise again, that might allow them to move more, to be healthier. Because being at a certain BMI doesn't make you healthy. Excess adiposity, like excess visceral fat, has a huge effect on your health, statistically speaking. And I am one of those people with a large amount of excess adiposity in the visceral fat. And that excess adiposity has affected my system. Or, better put, my system has caused me to accumulate excess visceral adipose tissue at a ridiculous rate, and to hold on to it in a way that isn't typical. And it's a disease. It's a disease that I live with. And it's something that's come on from very early in my life, basically from puberty onwards. And Robin, I can't remember if I said hi to Robin. I'm trying to keep up with what's going on here. Anyway, if Jay's still watching or watches again or wants to say something important, that's cool. But if Jay just wants to complain that they're doing it without complaining and they don't want me to try to fix things that are broken, that's fine. I realize that it is a sign of a weak person to wake up in the morning worried about not only making enough money to make my family survive, but also trying to make the lives of other people better by removing impediments to their health, by removing impediments to their ability to earn and make a living, to have decent, clean shelter, good access to clean water and food, access to medicine, access to mental health care, and access to a world that doesn't treat them like shit just for existing. I don't really know who Jay is, Robin. He seemed upset with me being weak. And you know what? I'm gonna quote a YouTube creator who I have mixed thoughts about, but Mark Smelly Bell. Mark Bell is a competitive lifter, a drugged lifter at that. He's not a clean lifter. He makes no bones about it, but he said, remember strength is never a weakness. That's his thing. Remember, strength is never weakness. And he makes the slingshot for doing like the bench press, you know. Anyway, I know I'm a weak man. Standing up and being a leader in your community and trying to fix what's wrong and trying to help those that are in a worse situation than you is definitely a weak ass behavior. That is a different, yeah. This was the J that was coming up for me was just the letter J, but like I don't know, this screen's weird. And yeah, no, Jay Bundy. I don't have any beef with Jay Bundy. If people do, I don't know anything about it. Um, I don't necessarily agree with every word that comes out of Jay Bundy's mouth, but I like Jay Bundy a lot. I respect him a lot. He's a smart man, and I enjoy his content. I haven't seen a lot of it recently, but I did see something's coming back again. And you know what? Jay's a good guy. Yeah, but Jay, not Jay. That's yeah. I don't. Is there someone named Jay too? Vandy, have you got that? Have you got that clear? Anyway, yeah, I got no problems with. I got no problems with Jay Bundy. He's cool. And this has nothing to do with him. And I realize when people say Jay, they're probably thinking about Hunter Biden's laptops. So, um, yeah, and I'm really glad to hear Dave is recovering as well as possible. So, um, yeah. Oh, Titan Uranus. How's it going, Titan? I sent you a video that you may or may not appreciate, but it's all about Titan. Titan transiting Saturn, not Uranus. Um, and It's from some people that do astronomy content that I enjoy. And I can't remember if I think I sent it to you on your channel. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, Titan, good to see you. I think it's hilarious that Titan is not a mod on my channel. And Titan, I'll make you a mod on my channel one day. I just think it's funny that you're not. Because I didn't realize you weren't until just now because you're not blue. So I guess I've been rambling on here for over an hour, so I'll wrap it up fairly shortly here. Bootstrap puller upper is Titan. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know if I've got it in me to pull myself up again any higher than I'm at. But what I do know is that any strength I've got left, at the end of the day, I'm going to put into trying to make things better. And I'm going to try to do it in a positive way. And this is something I want to say, and this is a mental health. So trigger warning, if you're not into mental health discussions and you're also like me, maybe feeling extra stressed by life these days. I feel the financial stress of like every day is just like I don't make enough money to make things work. And I am stressed as fuck about that. But at the same time, I see bad shit happening and I want to fix it. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I was talking to Mrs. Trucker about this last night, she said, you have to stop. And I may have to take a break from something somewhere. And what I don't want to take a break from is those of this community. I don't want to take a break from my community on YouTube. I do want to take a break from looking at some of the bullshit that's going on because it is starting to make me feel like a violent and visceral feeling towards people that are actively trying to make this world a shittier place while I'm actively trying to make it a better place. It's very, very off-putting. And some of the stuff that I hear happening at some of the higher levels of government around the world, it's one of those things that just eats at you. It eats at me, you know. And it makes me really pissed off when I see people that have sway over what goes on putting people last and putting themselves and their own interests first. When there's so many resources that could be better used. Like, it is fucking just galling. And I don't want to feel this sort of violent, visceral, I don't want to say hatred, but it's like, it's a visceral disappointment that makes me want to smash people into the fucking pavement. And I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be a bully at all. I want these people, these pissant little squirts that think they're fucking in charge of things. And see, here I am, I'm making fun of them, trying to make them small. I'm trying to make them small because they are. They are very tiny little people. They must feel so small if the only way they can live with themselves is to squish down entire populations, right? They want to squish us all like bugs. And yeah, like, so they must be such tiny little fragile people. And, you know, if I accidentally blow them off the fucking road driving by, like, too fucking bad. You know, I guess you weren't strong enough to handle it. So yeah, I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I might give you an extra horn blast as I come through, you know. Trees can do the bullying for sure. Anyway, I don't want to bully anybody. These fragile little egos that are trying to make themselves feel like anything other than, I don't know, Dr. Tapp and I had a conversation yesterday where I tried to liken one of the ass clowns that's in charge of something. I can't remember which one. It was, I think it was an American one because Vandy's American. So we were talking. Vandy's American, so he wouldn't even have any idea that we have politicians here in our country. We have some shitty ones here too, let me tell you. I'm not a fan of the guy we call Pee Head, Pierre Poilievre. Or is it Polyev? I can't remember if it's Poilievre or Polyev. I don't know. I didn't say Poilievre. Poilievre is, poly means many, and ver means worm, so he's many worm. In French, ver means worm. It also, if you pronounce it right, means green. So many green worm. I think we should just call him that. And actually, I don't know. Native Atheist is here, so they can let me know if this is cultural appropriation. If I call Pierre Poilievre many greenworm, which is that's what I'm making. That's what I'm making his Aboriginal or Indigenous name, even though I have no right to do that because I'm fucking white as fuck, except for my left arm is fucking red as fuck. I don't know if you can tell. You kind of gotta like, this is how pale I am, and then like my hair takes away from it. Like the top of my head doesn't, this trucker hat, and then this is the ridge of my hat. I don't know if you can see my head was red yesterday from the fucking windburn. All right, Native Atheist buys in. All right, I feel like I've got it right. RFK is bright and crazy. Oh fuck. Yes, well, maybe many greenworm is one of the worms living in RFK's head. I think the worm came back to life and started pulling the fucking levers. Is AJ here? We knew if you say fuckhead. Oh, that's right. He's all right, fuckhead, eh, bye. That's too fucking right, eh? Did AJ show up and I just didn't see them? I don't know. Can I scroll? I can scroll. I do not see AJ. Oh, syphilis. Oh, yeah, he's all right. Syphilis. Do you think the worm has syphilis or do you think RFK's got the syphilis? He's gone fucking crazy. He's too fucking crazy, eh, bye? Oh, yeah. He's right, wrong, in the head. I tell you, buddy down there, he did not know how to answer a fucking question either, did he? Oh, he was a fucking right fucking idiot, buddy. That's kind of what Newfies sound like a little bit, but not really. I'm not a Newfie. If Beck could probably tell you from my accent. Beck, go ahead and tell them from my accent where I'm from. I think Beck will like hit it right on the fucking head. Don't use what you already know about me. Just use my accent to identify where I'm from so that people get a sense of what it's all about. Oh yeah, well, you know what? That's not a word we use around here, eh, Beck? We don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. But I will say that worm ain't growing too fast. You're a mainlander. Yeah, let me tell you. So okay, I'm just gonna say, you know what? Treat people in large bodies with the same respect you'd give to anybody else. Actually, no. Make it fucking better. Make it fucking better. Beck, you didn't have to retract the censored message, but thank you. I don't like that word. I'm not gonna go on a diatribe about it, but I don't like that word. I don't like that word because of what it means now. When I was a kid, we used that word all the time, and it didn't mean the same thing. I mean, it did, but it was used in a different way, and people that are still using it now are kind of pissing me off. And they're doing it because they're trying to be anti woke or whatever. But like, fuck, being woke's the best fucking thing you can be. Anything that pisses off, what did Tree say? The fucking Klansman. Yeah, piss off a Klansman. Yeah, if you can. If you can. Hopefully they're not on your dick and you don't actually have to piss them off. But do the best you can. Do the best you can. Piss off a Klansman. If they are coming for your dick, like, start peeing. Start peeing. Anyway, we got lots of things to complain about. There's lots of things we could make better, but like we don't have to like go after people that are trying to stand up for just the best that we could possibly be. That's not something we should be trashing people for. Now, I do want to tell you a funny thing, because I heard, those of you that know me know that I like to make fun of flat earthers. I don't know why. I guess it's because I need to feel smarter than somebody. And there's not that many people I'm smarter than, but flat earthers are like definitely in that group. Yeah, and the KKK. KKK. Sit and rotate. No, I don't want to get that much shit on here. So they were talking about like, how do you know where you are? Somebody was making fun of a flat earther for like, they wouldn't be able to tell what direction they were going in if they didn't have a gyro compass or some bullshit like that. They're probably making fun of Witless. Because I think Witless was gonna buy a gyro compass at the gas station in Punta Arenas before they hopped on the plane to where the fuck they go? Antarctica, to Union Glacier. Anyway. Apparently, the gas station was all out of gyro compasses, which is weird because, like, the gas station down the street from me has them. It's only a few kilometers away. And the Trump administration. You know what? This is what I got to say. And you know what? UK assholes, that's to you. Try to cover it all as best I can. All right, so they're talking about cardinal directions and like what does it mean to be going east or west or whatever, and I think people were misunderstanding it. Like, if you keep going south, eventually you'll be going north. That kind of conversation. So in Canada we have things that we say like you go east, west, or whatever, and I don't know what goes on in the US, but in Canada, and Beck will appreciate this one, so I'm just gonna like lay this one out here. So in Canada you can go up north and you can go down south. And you can go out west, and you go back home. Now, if Beck's still here, they can let us know whether that's funny or not. I'm waiting, Beck. You have to. This is where you tell me if it's funny. Over yonder, yeah, Robin. Yeah, some people say down east as well, but yeah, I'm waiting for Beck to tell me if that's funny or if that's like racist against the Newfies. I just need to know. If I'm not mistaken, Beck's like a displaced Newfie. There's more Newfies live out west than live in Newfoundland, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Newfoundland's a beautiful province. Like, yeah, or straight to hell. Well, you know what, Robin? If I'm going there, I'm you know what? I'm disappointed in some of the preachers that I'm gonna see there, because I didn't want to ever see them again. But according to them, that's where they're going. Because if I'm going, then they're going. Because like, holy fuck, do they not know how to keep a fucking thought in their head that makes any sense? All right, well, I've been on here for 78 minutes and 50 seconds. Which I think is well more than enough time that anybody should spend ranting on the internet. So I've ranted I've raved, I've said the things that I wanted to say, I've said things I didn't want to say, and we heard from Jay, who told us that we need to Newfie sleeper cells. Yeah, but Beck, was it funny? Are my cardinal directions funny or are they offensive? That's what I need to know, Beck. Like, this is the question. You go out west, up north, down south, and back home. I just need to know if that works. And I also need to know, like I'm pointing, like, this is actually west at my house and this is east, but like, oh, Robin, it's good to see you too. And I think like Robin's, also been dealing with issues. I think like Amber was talking about how, like, how many truckers are in the community and how I'm the last one standing. I don't know, like, I know Robin had to take a break or something, but, yeah, they tried to kill me last year with the lungs, but they didn't get me. So I'm back in the truck. I got a Kenworth in my driveway right this minute. I better have, or somebody stole it last night. I'd be fucking pissed. I don't own it. It's my boss's truck. I don't know what I'd tell him. It's a good thing the thing's low jacked. Oh, you had a stroke. Fuck, Robin. Oh, you know what? I knew you were having a health issue. Fuck, my dad had a stroke. I could have told you not to because it's a fucking terrible idea. I'm so sorry, Robin. And you know what? Like, two broke ribs. Oh, that's fucking terrible. Was it from like CPR or like did you break your ribs doing something else? And also, like, I don't know if I've told people this, but like my father-in-law had a stroke a while back, and that's kind of affected things in our family too. It was like quite recently, a couple of months ago. I don't even know if it's been 2 months yet, but and the same thing happened to my dad a couple of years ago. My dad ended up passing from cancer, but the stroke kind of masked what was going on with the cancer, so we couldn't figure it out. Oh, you fell walking. Oh, fuck, Robin. Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Beck. You know what? I hate portrait mode too, but like there's a computer here that I'm gonna call Tap and ask him if his buddy could walk me through how to change the parts in this computer so I could make it work again. And if his buddy won't help me, I think that's fair. But there's other computer wizards in the fucking group too. Maybe I need to talk to them. There's an old computer here that I have from my old business. It's old, nobody uses it. Somebody locked it with a password at a job site, and I don't know how to fuck to open it because I don't know what the fucking password is. So apparently it's a brick, but I bet I could use it as just like an internet toaster. So that's what I want to do. And Beck, I agree with you because like one of my favorite people to watch who does anti-MLM stuff is DC. Say hello to DC, shouting her out. So actually, I want DC to come and do Tunnel Lady with me. That is not a sexual comment. Holy fuck, that sounded weird. Okay. I wanted to do a show about the TikTok tunnel lady, who's this weird woman with the green shirt that likes to dig a tunnel under her house because I don't know. I mean, actually, I think she's really fucking smart. I'm feeling like digging a tunnel under my house right now too. Oh, back here started using a stick. Yeah. So back, I'm in. I don't need it anymore. I have a lawyer to get my SSD. I've been paying in for many years. Dad has helped me keep me going. Oh fuck. Robin, oh fuck. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you don't have to fight too fucking hard. But yeah, it's a fucking thing. It's a fucking thing. Like, Jesus. You know what? Like things will fucking hit you and knock you down, and you don't know how fucking hard you got it. Or you don't know how close to the fucking line you are until someone takes it away or puts a pause on your fucking life, which is what happened to me last year. So like this is the thing, is like sometimes you don't know how fucking close to the line you are until somebody makes you fucking live without the meager earnings that you get. Like I think that's the thing, right? Like Jay came in here, I put my boots on every day. It's like I put my fucking boots on every day. Oh, geez, Robin, that is a good thing. My house is like, see, that's the thing, is my house is not. Like we upgraded the house and we got a lot of money to pay, and that's what makes me fucking work so hard every day is that, because without having a good place for the kids to be, and we need a home base, right? My kids need a solid place to live. They need to keep going to school and make a way for themselves, and my wife and I are doing everything we can to get them started like that, give them the best start we can, and then some. I don't think it's not money wasted to give kids a solid environment to grow up in at all. And my both of my kids have had challenges of one kind and another, and I just want to do whatever I can, to make it as good as I can. And if that makes me a weak man, so fucking be it. And if it makes me weak to say that the world's fucking stacked against us, so fucking be it. If it makes me weak to stand up to that and say that's fucked, so fucking be it. If that's what weak is, I'm fucking weak. I'm good with that. Some medical records from 30 odd years ago from Nova Scotia from a doctor. I can't remember. No. Yeah, well, you know what? Beck, the thing is, Beck, if you don't remember what happened 30 years ago, I mean, how the fuck could you possibly be sick now? I live in the trailer that was my grandparents' house. Yeah, trees. I get you. Is like, yeah. I have 2 trailers left, and I can't live in either one of them. And my wife thinks we should sell one of them. Probably should. They're list. I have a dump trailer and a utility trailer, and I like having them because they come in handy a lot. But I don't use them every week or even every month sometimes. And I inherited them from my father, so I probably got to sell one. I think I got to sell the utility trailer, keep the dump trailer because it's super fucking handy, and we have a little bit of property here, right? You know what, trees? Yeah, we're all lucky for what we have, and honestly, I live in an amazing house. When I was in construction and making better money, we put a lot of money into fixing this house, and I got to pay it down, right? Oh, Robin's got a spare house on their property. Yeah, I can't come to your country because I'd never be let in. They repoed a mini home. Oh fuck, that's fucking brutal. That is brutal. I'm actually I'm thinking this is my plan right now. I haven't figured it all out yet, but my plan is to renovate my basement, completely finish it into an apartment and rent it out. That's what my wife and I are planning to do because we don't think there's any other way to hold on to everything if we don't start making some money off the house. So that's kind of what we're doing. The studio apartment's still pretty good, Robin. And you know what? I don't remember if Trees lives in the same state as Robin, but I know Trees is down in that general neck of the woods. The thing is, American states are so fucking small. I mean, you could live 3 over, and except for Texas and Alaska, they're all fucking tiny. And I look at them as fuck, you could drive through 9 of them in a day. I know I've driven through at least 7 or 8 of them in a day in the East Coast. Ones on the West Coast are a little bit bigger, but yeah, fuck. Somebody no offense. You're in Ohio, Robinson, Kentucky. Okay, yeah, they're next door, right? I mean, that's the thing, right? You got I was gonna say what the fuck am I saying? Like Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, you could be from any of those places, and I'm like, that's all down there. I could get to. I know how long it would take me to get there. Hey, Ryan, another Ryan's here, Ryan Donovan. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, and I've been wrapping up the show for 20 minutes now, maybe longer. The thing is, I'm loquacious, and I have a lot of thoughts in my head. So I've done a live. It's 9 o'clock. I bet my family's waking up. I probably woke them up with all my rambling. And they're going to say, what the fuck? Why are you so fucking loud? Well, I'm fucking loud because I'm fucking loud. And also because I spend 14 hours a day in a C-15 cat. It is, Robin. So I'm thinking about doing a show. Dr. Top's talking about doing a show too. Let me know if you think you'd want to do a show. You'd watch a show where Dr. Tap was around. That's a good, because I keep trying to talk him into coming and talking somewhere. And if you want to know what it's like, I don't have the link, but a couple of months ago, Dr. Tap came on my show and we did a little chat. I also have, I don't want to promise anybody anything, but I have found out recently that a famous doctor, a PhD doctor, in a topic that many people find very interesting is somebody that I play an online game with. And I did not know that until recently. And I have secured from them a lukewarm response to, would you come and talk to people about your vocation on my show? And if I get that to happen, I know I have at least one enthusiastic participant from our community. And I'm not going to say any more than that. And there's one other enthusiastic participant that I'd love to get on the show. Yeah, Dr. Tap can talk about magnets. Yes. I think I don't know if Dr. Tap's still listening. Dr. Tap might have gone to work or fallen asleep again. It's hard to say. But if Dr. Tap's still there, I'd like Dr. Tap to come and talk about an equipotential magnetic field. He'll get that joke. All right. Oh, you're in the background. Yeah. You can tell because I see a fucking weasel there. Also, Dr. Tap, later I'm going to find the quote of Blackadder III saying, I have a plan so cunning you could put a tail on it and call it a weasel. Because I think that's hilarious. Because I find Rowan Atkinson hilarious. I also find Rowan Atkinson an interesting person outside of his acting and comedy career. I've heard him speak about some things where he says some very eloquent things. Would that I could be such an eloquent elocutionist. Anyway, I'm not, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. One of the things I do is I get up and I talk, because people know if you set Al in front of some people and let him talk, he'll fucking talk. And the most recent time I did a public speaking engagement, it was kind of cool. I went down and spoke to a bunch of people that work in medical research, and afterwards I was referred to as someone that used humor in my speaking, and I don't know if I'm funny, because my wife and my children tell me that I am definitely not funny. But the funny thing is, the show's over. I'm gonna get out of here. I do real talk. I do real talk as good as anybody. All right. Well, I mean, I'm trying to lay things out, right? People do appreciate. I think people appreciate when you're an honest person, just gets out there and talks. And see, the thing is, like, I don't have the body for OnlyFans, and so I'm kind of stuck just using the thoughts in my head, whether you like them or not. And Down syndrome. The only thing she could watch was Mr. Bean. You know what? And you know what? People people with Down syndrome. This is Trees has a friend with a sister with Down syndrome. So like I've known a couple of people with Down syndrome. They are generally some pretty awesome people. And like one of the things that people point out about them is that they always seem so happy. Now I don't know if they're really happy or not, but they do. I have definitely seen a few people with Down syndrome who have such an outwardly bright look on life, and I really love that about those people I've met with that. I don't know if it's universally true, but you know what? They are some of the super nicest people I've met out there, and I know a lot of them need a little bit of help. But man, they are some nice people, and people that live with them have a great appreciation for them. And I also this is not related because they're not the same thing at all. OnlyFans, yeah, Robin, it's onlyfans.com. I believe they sell air moving equipment. Or is that Big Ass Fans? I think it's Big Ass Fans. Anyway, Google Big Ass Fans. If you're a fan of big asses, you are gonna have a great time on Big Ass Fans. Actually, no, I think I'm confusing this. I think OnlyFans is where you see a lot of skin, and Big Ass Fans is where you cool the skin down. Family, you watch Dukes. You know what? I love the show Dukes of Hazzard. I know you're not allowed to watch it. I know it's not woke to watch it because they had a Confederate flag on top of the car, and that was wrong. And the show might have had other problems, but you know, it was a funny show. It was a funny show. Not quite OnlyFans worthy, but it was close. All right, I'm getting out of here. It's another 30-minute goodbye. It's been great. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to try to stream a little bit more. I haven't had the energy to do it for a while. It was up, and I wanted to. So, bye, everybody. And RFK Jr. And all you other assholes. And bye, everybody. Great to see you.